Hive. Hi. It's the last day of this decade. And if you are checking in live, if you're watching this live, let me know down below if you would in the comments. I'd love to give you a shout out or something. So let let me know if that's how you're checking in. If you're just checking a replay, also let me know #replay. And I'd love to know what you're thinking on this last day of the year and of the decade. And there are so much that is going around the internet and all through my Facebook feed and my Instagram feed. There's emails from all these different places talking about what's ahead for 2020 and how you're thinking about 2020. What are you going to do about 2020? And so I thought I'd pop on. Let's just do a brief Tuesday training segment. And I would rather ask you, are you going to have a well-formed 2020? Because I think that's maybe a much better place to start. I don't know how your Christmas went or whatever you were doing, whether you were doing Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or some other something, winter solstice. One of my friends was overseas in Ireland doing the winter solstice. Doesn't that sound amazing? And thinking about what's coming ahead for you and how do you make smart plans and how are you well-intentioned and formed for whatever it is that you're about to do. And so I was thinking about that in my own life, and I like to think that I make smart plans for my future. How about you? Do you hope that you're making smart plans? I mean, and if I'm honest, as kind of gypsy as I seem to a whole lot of people, I like to live my life according to a plan. I think it is really difficult to end up in a good place by accident. So in my world, by having some plans and having some goals, for me, I feel like I increase the likelihood of having a wonderful life. And I want my life to be an example of what is possible. And I want that for you too. And so some of the things that I've begun to do kind of as I'm moving into a different phase in my life is I'm choosing to avoid living my life by default. I don't know if that's your kind of experience, but I feel like sometimes I'm just reactionary and I'm trying to not be in that space anymore. And so I'm moving towards what are hopefully good things rather than moving away from painful things. So trying to keep the good things and the gratefulness and an inspired life in the front and center of my life, because just trying to avoid pain means I lack a plan, because pain's going to come, but also good things are coming. And so it's how I'm noticing those things. My plans are for the future, I hope are thoughtful. I hope they're intelligent. Are you putting time into your plans? I'm going to ask you some questions in just a few minutes about how to do that kind of well-ordered thinking. So I put personally a lot of careful consideration onto my goals. So my goals are perfect for me only. And that's why I can't, I can tell you what my goals are, but they're really me specific. And so those goals are also in line with my values and my belief system. And as I look back, as I do the hard work before I can move forward, I like to look back on the year. I know my life is getting better because I'm taking steps to follow my plans. And as I look at where I was this time last year, my life is better. And so I think one of the best things that I have adopted in 2019 is to take the necessary time each week to reevaluate my progress and make adjustments to my plans based on that evaluation. I know a lot of people really do it once a month or they do it once a quarter, but I find it most helpful if I do it once a week. It doesn't take near as long, and I can begin to see some hiccups that kind of come out of that are kind of distracting me from what I'm trying to do. And I find that if I constantly am tweaking my approach, then success becomes mine. Success becomes my destiny. And so at night, what I do is I think about everything that I did that day to put my plans into action. And that's also when I do my 3 things I'm grateful for. And I ask myself, how can I enhance my plan and the actions that I'm taking? Like, how did that go today? What is there something I can do tomorrow? And then I intentionally once a week set aside, like 20 or 30 minutes and figure out if there's major tweaking or tools or a resource that I'm just need to kind of get a hold of. And I think by visualizing being successful, falling asleep in that kind of positive headspace, I find that I am actively bettering my life. And so this kind of renewed way of looking at congruent values and a well-formed life can be really easy to access. But I think part of it becomes in the fact it's in some questions that you ask. And so what I want to do is have you kind of go through the simple questions that I think will help you in 2020 leaving a well-formed life. So the first question I would ask you is, what do you want? So it would be great if I had a money tree. How many of you would love to be able to plant a money tree in the backyard? But if that's not something that is truly going to be on the scale, I'm not a scientist. I'm not trying to figure that out, how to grow money from a tree. But so what is it? What do I want? Just for the next year, what do I want? And the next question that follows it, so you write that down, just take a moment and maybe write 10 things down and kind of figure out what is going to be your focus. The next question would then be, how will you know when you've got it? Because if you don't have some kind of realistic measurement, I don't know how you ever know that you got there, or what you did to keep yourself from there, or how you're stepping towards it, even if you're making incremental process for that. So how will you know when you've got what you want? How will you know? And then I think another important question is, what will you see when you get it? What are you hearing around you? What are you feeling? So is it something specific, like for one of the things that I have in front of me is landscaping in my backyard. And so that's an easy thing. What I want better landscaping. And what am I going to see from that landscaping? What will I hear? Lots of birds, I hope. How will I feel? I will feel much better about my house and entertaining. And so here's just kind of one example. That's a really important question to ask yourself. And then if you could have it now, whatever it is that you want, if you could have it right now, would you take it? I find a lot of people don't ask that question. So would you take it? Because by taking something that's different or new about life, that means you're letting something else go. So what is that? So if you could have it right now, would you take it? That's really important. And then another question in a well-formed life to be asking yourself is, what will happen when you get it? So that's very similar to the question that I just asked. So what will happen when you get it? What will you have? More free time? Will you have more business? Will you have less anxiety because you are moving forward in your thinking and positivity? Will you have stronger friendships? There's a lot of different things that people want in their lives. And so what will happen? I think it's important to write that down, keep it in front of you so that you're constantly kind of recentering yourself and driving yourself towards that. Another question I would ask about having a well-formed new year would be, how will getting it benefit you? So many people just want, the money tree, for example, that I talked about earlier, but how will getting it benefit you? And will it make you feel better? That's that see, hear, feel piece that we just talked about. Will it put you in a better place to get your kids to college? Will it set you up for retirement? Will you sleep better? Is that one of the benefits of getting whatever it is that you want? Because those are sometimes intangible, really important things that keep us healthy. And being in a place of health is the most crucial thing, at least for me. And then the last question that I would ask as part of this kind of well-formed life Tuesday training tip would be, what will come out when you achieve this goal? Does that make sense? What will come out when you achieve this goal? These are all really important questions to write down. What will come out? What will come out of your schedule, out of your life, out of your franticness, out of your pocketbook when you achieve this goal? So that now you're creating space with all of those things so that when you have it, you know what it is. I don't know about you, but I think a well-formed 2020 is a really good place to start, but you can't do it unless you've done the work first. So these reflective questions, I hope, will set you up in a place that you will take charge of 2020 like no other, because I really want you to have some positive, life-affirming, inspirational moments to your 2020. So I'd love to know what you thought about this. You can put your comments below or let me know. Reach out if you want some help about forming 2020. If you haven't yet joined the Sparkle Squad, it's this free Facebook group, and we'd love to have you. Just type in Sparkle Squad on Facebook, and we do a whole lot of these kind of trainings and people together that are helping everyone kind of push forward into this well-formed 2020 way of thinking. I'm Suzanne Castle. I'm wishing you the greatest end to your decade, that you have peace, love, health, and happiness, and I will see you again soon. Take care.